Welcome to the Sports Arena, your front row ticket to the best in sports talk and entertainment. Great analysis, top-name guests, and news you can use from the sports landscape. So, take your seats, sit back, and relax, as you are now in the Sports Arena.
You know what you're capable of. Fix it.
And here's your host, Eric Wilson.
Wins. I'm like, all right, let's go. We get losses. I'm like, I need a minute. Collect myself. What's going on, everybody? Your man, Eric Wilson, Sports Arena here, and I got a special guest. Welcome him back to the Sports Arena. I had the opportunity to talk to this man for probably 5 straight weeks, and he wasn't tired of listening to me so much that he was gracious enough to come back here on the show. Let me welcome in. He is the WNBA general manager and head coach of the Chicago Sky, James Wade. Welcome back, man. How are you?
I'm doing good, man. I hope you're doing good too. I'm happy to be here. I appreciate you having me, like always.
Always, man. Appreciate your time here. Thank you so much. And I'm doing well. Happy holidays to you and the family. I've been following you on the gram. I see all the pictures of you over there, man. I'm kind of jealous. You're traveling a little bit, getting there at least to spend time with the family, go out, do things, enjoy that French cuisine. So how's the Russian?
It's going pretty good. I had less than a day, man. And, it's something that I'm motivated. I got this far. So, I'm keeping it going. Hopefully, the teacher's pretty pleased with my progress. So hopefully we'll see, hopefully I can count that in the bag as being a trilingual citizen,
Yeah, I can barely speak English sometimes. So I definitely need to get on my grind and learn something else because, as I always say, the world needs more of Coach James Wade. But, man, let's get right to it. You and I first met back in July. I had the pleasure of being able to cover the Chicago Sky this year. But given the unique season that you guys played, and now you've had some time after the fact to kind of reflect and look over everything, can you just give me your overall thoughts on, the season as a whole for the Sky?
Well, I felt like, for us, it was two seasons for us. I felt like pre-injuries before, and this is not an excuse, but before Z and Diamond were out, even though we knew that Diamond she was only 40% of herself, her presence actually helped us a lot. Z, her integration into our team, it really helped big time. How able she was to actually, get into a rhythm of flow with us, and us being 10-4 and in the top 4 teams. I felt like we weren't as consistent as I would have liked for us to be, but you can tell we were going towards something. And then after the injuries, it kind of depleted, us a little bit, depleted our rotation. And so it was just tough. And so we struggled a little bit in the second half of the season. But that's the way it goes. A lot of teams had to deal with injuries, but for us to not be prepared for it, I felt like it took a lot out of us. So second half of the season, we were holding on as much as possible, and they fought. And it's a good learning lesson for us going into next season.
Yeah, and I mean, listen, you could definitely see that, like you said, not just on the Chicago Sky, but other teams. Everybody that was in the Wubble, had to deal with those same adversities. And you made no excuse about it. You were like, listen, everybody's dealing with the same thing. It isn't like, we're dealing with this while other teams are perfectly healthy. Some teams only ran with 9 players. Some teams, such as the Sky, had the opportunity to run with 10, 11 players. But everybody being here in Bradenton, Florida, being in the Wubble, had to go through the same thing. So, I want to talk to you right now about some of your players who have continued their journey and are playing overseas, continuing to do what they love to do. And as I've said on my show here on the Sports Arena, women are in sports, people. Get used to it, deal with it, because they are coming. And they are going to outshine a lot of these men. That's just how I feel. If you don't like it, too bad. But I wanted to know from you, have any of the ladies, such as Courtney or Allie or Gabby, have they reached out to you for advice or guidance while they're playing overseas?
Well, I talk to them all the time. I mean, the interesting thing about Allie is I've been fortunate enough to coach them overseas. And so this is the first year that I'm not in a while. But we still talk. We still keep a good line of communication, and we talk about things and stuff like that. We talk about our team. They're 100% into Chicago Sky, even in the off season. So they always have a lot of questions for, me and what they thought we did well, what they thought we didn't do well. I talk to Gabby. Frequently as well. And, if it's just sending her books or giving her advice on different things, or if I come across something that I see on the internet, I'll send it over to her. And so she's playing really well. She's in a good space. And we have Stephanie Mavonga too, who really people don't really know yet because she hasn't gotten a chance to really get integrated into our group the way she will going forward. And she's doing well in Russia as well. So, I try to keep tabs on Addie and give them my advice of what I see, especially when I watch their games, because I do look at their games. I still watch their games. So the good thing about me not being able to be in Russia right now or not working anywhere right now is I get to look at everybody's games from, a Chicago Sky head coach point of view instead of, a coach in Russia. So it's actually pretty cool.
Nice. And that's what I was curious. I knew after covering this team how closely knit y'all were, and I wasn't sure if it expanded to the international level. So I'm glad that everybody still has that. They have a direct line to Coach Wade and can definitely talk to him and reach out to him whenever they need him for stuff. So speaking of the players, so one person we got to discuss, and I want to show a lot of love to her because Kalia Copper, that's my girl. I mean, she is just doing big things. So I want to talk about the fact that she now has taken this role as the assistant head coach for Purdue Northwestern during this offseason. Was that something that you and her talked about? Was that one of her goals that she maybe came to you and said, eventually, coach, I want to be your assistant. I'm going to take this opportunity and get have you seen her IG that she did of you, her impression that she did of you?
Oh, man. Yeah, that was I'm getting it from people that was spot on. So I guess I don't know how I am like looking at me. So, but from what I'm hearing from everybody, it was pretty spot on. So it was pretty funny to see.
Oh, yeah.
I give her props for that. A lot of people don't know that side of Kalia. So now people get to see.
So what has been like? What are your thoughts on her taking on this role?
Well, I think we talked about she was all ready to go overseas, and the bubble was hard for everybody. So I felt like after the season, I know I needed a break, but she felt like she needed a break as well, and some other players did too. And during her time of reflection of what she was going to do going forward, this opportunity came about. And she reached out to me and she asked me, did I think it was a good idea? And immediately I was like, yeah, I think it's a great idea because I talked about with Ka this year being an important year for her, even before in free agency, and her finding her voice as a leader with our group. And she was able to find that a little bit this summer. And, we wanted, to even, make it even louder. So this will be a good opportunity for her to actually going forward as being a professional basketball player to see our point of view. Because a lot of times when the coaches tell you to do stuff, you hear it and you listen, but it's just different coming from a player's point of view. And now she gets to think like a coach and actually have to give instruction and try to get them to do it, even when they're not as motivated or when they don't understand really what you need. And so I think it'll be a good moment for her to like kind of grasp it and kind of evolve into the leader that we need her to be for the Sky.
That's awesome. And I still say to this day, if it has not been created yet, we need to get a shirt, just a simple shirt with your picture on it. Your best line from the season was, well, look at it then. I'm telling you, James, we need to get that shirt made because from jump, everybody knew, okay, this coach is no joke. Do not mess with him because he is protecting his team. He is protecting his organization, and he is not going to let y'all disrespect his ladies. So I'm telling you, we need to get that shirt that says, well, look at it then, because
was that when she undercut Kyle? I think that's that maybe. Yeah, I think that was the point. I'm still pissed about that. I looked at that game like maybe 2 weeks ago. And I just don't get where that call was, accurate. But hey, it's the way it is.
I'm telling you, that was probably when I saw that. That's when I knew. I was like, yeah, no, this is a man who is serious about his business, about his craft, and about his ladies. And you will not, I don't care where you at, you will not disrespect them. But so you brought up free agency. Let's talk about it, because this is, during the off season, this is a unique experience. First time for, I'm sure, a lot of people, including yourself. Mm-hmm. Give me your thoughts on what free agency looks like for you, because we know the draft isn't until April. The Chicago Sky have the 8th pick right now in the first round.
Yeah.
But what's like, let's switch to the general manager mode, if you will, for a minute. What's going on in your mind when it comes to that?
A lot of things. So you know, and the thing is, you have to keep tab on your players and how they're doing in the off season. And right now, everybody is healthy or getting, and which is good. And everybody should be healthy. If things go the way that it's supposed to go, everybody's going to be healthy. So you just have to think about what holes you need to plug into. How do we get more athletic, maybe, or I think our biggest plus minus was actually when Sloot was off the floor, which is understandable. A lot of that had to do with Colson not ever getting to 100% where she was integrated with the team physically and things of that nature. So I think you go into the draft and say, okay, we have to cover up some things. We have to, be defensively better. We have to be, sound as far as who is our backup point guard is going to be. And the unfortunate, I guess the unfortunate caveat of all this is that the draft is actually after free agency. And so you have to go into free agency analyzing the draft, like what can we get in the draft and what can we get in free agency that's going to complement all those things, So the fact that we don't have a top 4 pick, it's going to be kind of hard to see who's there. But we've tried to identify and make a list of, and it changes every week, of our draft board. Who's first, who's second, third, all the way. And we're going to keep on doing it every week or bi-weekly until the season comes. Now, when you look at the free agency, you look at who can take us to another level. And so that's what that's what we've tried to, I guess, kind of put into a situation is who do we like, who's going to help us, and who's attainable. And all those things may not match, but when all those things match, that means you have perfectly what you need, So that's we're meeting on that stuff like every week, and especially until free agency starts. You talk to agents, you talk to your players and see what they've heard, because the WNBA is a small world, and you just try to get a good feel for what you can get in free agency, who can help your team make it to the next level.
Yeah, I'm very interested to see, the moves that y'all make, because that core nucleus that you have, with Diamond and Ka and the Vanderquigs and of course Dolson, and as you said, Sydney coming in and kind of reacclimating herself. But there is one name I do want to talk about. She was your rookie last year. I got to talk about Miss Ruthy Hebert. What have you seen from her now that she's also overseas playing? What are your thoughts on her growth and maturity?
When she actually got to Turkey, when I first found out she was going to sign in Turkey, I thought that, this is going to be a great situation for her to express herself, because Turkey's not an easy league. And normally, when Americans come over, they ask for them to do a lot. And so when she got there, the first game, we were like, wow, she played amazing. And then the second game, and then the third game, and then the fourth game. And it's a team that's traditionally not, they're not a top 5 team traditionally. And now they're in the top 2, top 3. And she's, top 3 in scoring, top 2 in rebounding in the entire league. And you're like, okay, Ruthy's, she's found her confidence. She's found herself. I know the coach has made. I haven't talked to the coach, but I looking at Ruthy's games, I've seen he's instilled some of our sets, to make her more comfortable. So it's been pretty awesome to see her growth overseas, and hopefully she can bring it out. And we've talked to her about how to improve her speed, her athleticism while she's there to put in extra work, and she's been doing it. So it's been cool.
How's the rebounding? I know you're watching the rebounding.
Yeah, man, it's amazing. Like she's averaging almost 13 rebounds a game.
Wow.
And so she's doing great things, and so it's cool. I just I hope it translates when she comes back here. But I think once she comes back, she's going to come back with confidence, and we're going to see a better Ruthy. So it's pretty cool.
Awesome. So, all right, Coach, I got to ask you, brother to brother on a personal note, because the Wubble was kind of like the place where they weren't just talking about basketball. They were making sure that the entire WNBA, and I'm not taking this away from the NBA, the NFL, or any other league, but since, I have you, and because you and I were so closely impacted by what was going on, I want to take and see, just to get a pulse from you. You're over in France right now. As you know, we've had the election. As far as January 2021 comes on, we got a new president. Joe Biden and Kamala Harris are coming in. So I just wanted to get the temperature of what it's like over there in France right now, knowing that there is a new administration coming in January of 2021. What have you heard? What are your thoughts? Just what's going on?
I think a lot of people on the outside, especially here, didn't understand how Trump got in office. And when they look at, our country, and, I wasn't surprised. And when I explained it to him, I'm like, I'm not surprised that he was in office, because our country, the facade of what you see on TV and what you see on a lot of things, it actually hides who we really are, and the guilt that's there they don't feel as guilty as it makes it seem. You have some people, but that's only a minority of people.
Right.
And so I think for the younger generation, and for the younger generation to actually be more active and be more outspoken and say, hey, and the WNBA is a reflection of that young new school generation. Say, hey, we won't stand for this. Our voices need to be heard. And we're gonna, because the thing is that I felt like the younger generation at a point, they trusted the older generation. They trusted. So they didn't really have any fire in their butts to really get out and make change, because they trusted it. But we gave it time, and now the younger generation said, hey, now we're speaking up. You see even kids from far right-wing households rebelling against their parents and saying, hey, this is not right. I know this is the way you raised me, but it ain't right. We have to look out for the people who are voiceless. And so I'm proud that people have put a foot down and are making their voices be heard. And I think that when from over here, like looking from over here and listening to people, I think they're at a loss for words I guess the blinds have been opened a little bit, because you hear about, you say, oh, the American dream, and people, you ask kids, like, what do you want to do? I want to move to the US. But it's a facade. It's Hollywood, and it's not real. And now they're starting to see the real, what America is really about. And until they acknowledge what they've been about and kind of throw themselves on the sword and say, hey, look, we haven't been about everyone. We haven't been about equality. Then, it's not going to change. And the blinds are just going to be more open and more open and more open for people to see. I feel like people are seeing that now.
And that's the biggest piece. I think the biggest piece is we've done, as you said, we've opened the curtains, and, all that stuff that used to be able to stay hidden or stay outside of what the goggles are of other people. Now it's like, no, we're going to give you a real clear, transparent view of what's going on. So you know what you're working with before you decide to make that decision to come here, because it's got to be that everybody is heard. So, Coach, man, I appreciate it. I just want to know, man, what you got going on for the holidays? When are you coming back to the States? Like what's your timetable look like, man? I know COVID's still hitting us over here, and it's truly. I'm like, man, can we please get this thing figured out? Because
I was supposed to be in the States right now. Like I was going like right after Thanksgiving, but I was going to be in Chicago. But the fact that it's like it was going rapid. It was going rapid, and I decided that to stay here with my family a little bit longer. And I'll be there in the new year in January, certainly. But right now, for the holidays, we're just going to lay low, stay here in the south of France. I think maybe the 19th through the 20 something before Christmas, we'll probably go see my mother-in-law. But I think Christmas we're just gonna keep it intimate with us in the house and not do too much, because we know that every time people go and see all these people and do all these things, especially around the holidays, it's going to be another spike. So we're going to get in, get out before Christmas, see my mother-in-law, and then we come back here and just be chill.
Nice. All right. Well, good, man. Hey, happy holidays to you and your family. I love the inspirational messages that you put out. I love seeing your son out there with you, and I can't. It does so much good for me to know that men such as yourself are out there, and on the front as being a GM, a head coach, a father, a husband. It's like, that's why I always say, man, the world needs more of Coach James Wade, because you are truly setting an example. And I just want to say again, from the bottom of my heart, thank you so much for your time. I can't wait to see you when you do get back in the States. Listen, Chicago's my favorite city, so I'm going to find a way.
You got to come, man.
Oh,
you got to come, man.
You ain't even got to ask me. I'm on the first thing first. I'm masked up. By the way, speaking of masks, when you talk to Kelly, tell her I still need my sky mask, man.
Oh, wow. Okay. I got you. Don't worry. I got you, man. Don't worry.
I'm social distancing now. I just want my Chicago sky mask. That's all.
All right, man. Well, I got you, man. Well, I got you. I got it. I'm on it.
I appreciate it, man. Hey, Coach Wade, head coach, general manager, WNBA Chicago Sky. Thank you so much for your time. Like I said, happy holidays to you and your family. Yeah. We'll definitely talk in the new year.
All right. Have a good one. Have a good holidays.
You too, man.